I have priorities based on four things. One is principle of equality. Number two is public interest. Number three is common sense. And number four is law, rules, and regulations. So it's not about who supported you, but how you make decisions when you're in office. And I have gone through 5 years of service, and I think we did it according to those principles. That does not automatically reflect who supported you, but the principle is reflected in the policy.
So there was nothing owed to that support, is what you're saying?
And that's exactly the point. Sometimes you assume that if you're supported by this group and that group, then you will be acting not according to the principle of equality, the common sense, public interest, or also rules and regulations. And I have gone through 5 years proving that we can do that. So therefore, looking to the future...
Yes. What are those four things? How are you going to bring those four things into play? What are the issues you see in this coming election?
Several things. But number one, we're happy with the economic growth that we are experiencing, despite the fact that we had serious contraction during COVID, which every country across the globe is experiencing. However, we need to improve the quality of our growth. What does it mean? It means growth is reflected in the numbers, the percentage of growth. But that does not reflect the distribution of that growth. Our economy has been centralized in Java and also northern coastal of Java especially. What we'd like to do is to expand into regions of Indonesia. So center for economic growth is not only in certain places, but in major area of Indonesia. So equality is something that we would like to address in the area of economic development, in the area of education, which matters a lot. If quality of education is happening across Indonesia, so parents don't have to send their kids to major cities in Java for quality educations. That's two. Number three is healthcare system across Indonesia. So the bottom line, and this is a major hope for people across Indonesia, is that equal access to jobs, to source of economic growth, to quality of education, to quality of healthcare. And then on top of all of that is a policy with regard to agriculture, policy with regard to fisheries, and we are a very rich natural resources country, and systematic approach on allowing equal growth across those regions is of interest in the general public. Yeah. I've traveled quite a few in the past few months. I ended my term in October, and since then I travel a lot, and people were saying we're happy with the economic growth, but we would like to see more distributions aspect of that, so that household across Indonesia will experience growth the way the national level growth is being reflected in the statistics.
Better send it across the board. Let's go. I want to finish where we started, and that was where you talked about balance in the region. How do you feel about China's growing influence and grab for power? Indonesia has, is beholden to China on a number of big projects. Is that a concern to you? Do you feel that that has been a mistake?
I think we need to always pursue foreign policy based on our principles. Indonesia has adopted since then a non-aligned view about where we put ourselves in the world. And we need to continue on that track. So on the one hand, we need to continue to maintain good relationship with China. On the other hand, we also need to maintain good relationship with the US and other major players. And what we'd like to see is for all parties, especially in the region of Southeast Asia, to continue upholding the fact that Southeast Asia has been peaceful for more than 50 years. This is a region where tensions were absent in the past 50 years.
But no longer.
But we do hope it is continue to be that way, because it is very important for everyone in the regions. So
So as
Australia.
president, would you play a greater international role
I think so.
hasn't been?
I think so.
a feature?
Indonesia needs to play more active roles in the international arena, and that we need to be active based on our principles. So foreign policy does not always reflect more transactional approach, meaning it is not only about how much money foreign countries are coming into us. It is not only about trade, but it is about our contributions in sustaining peace and stability in the regions and across the globe. And Indonesia, as the fourth largest country in the world, need to play
It's
bigger
got to
role
play a
in
bigger
that.
part.
Oh yeah,
It's
and
gotta take
especially in
its
Asia,
place.
South, we're talking Southeast Asia. We're almost 40%
Yeah.
of the populations
You need
in
to have a
Southeast
bigger
Asia.
voice.
So we definitely need to be a little bit assertive and more active.
Maybe I can invite your expert from Australia to
Come here and, and develop
to
the
give
education.
something like training for traders.
Yes, exactly.
Which is the best one?
The best one, what we do first, is normally that they come here and they build up the vocational training center, teach them, and after that there's exchange possible. First they build it up here to improve the quality of the workforce and the quality of education.
Okay. Maybe my staff can follow
Yes.
with your staff,
Yes.
and then we can decide about the training for trainers, for the teacher, and some of student, and then after this we can send some of student or teacher to Australia, and then we come back and develop a new system, I think, for some of school in Central Java.
Yep.
So I want to learn from their experiences in Australia about the relation between the school and industry.
Exactly.
I hear
Yes.
from Australia and
It's true. Yeah.
German that you have what you call
We call it a dual education system.
dual education system, and you have something like a teaching industry, something like this.
Yes, we combine 15, 16-year-old teenagers who learn, for example, mechanics, for example. At the same time, they are also educated for graduation, and they can continue university studies. And the industry is, of course, very interested in their skill of mechanics, for example, or technology, or IT, whatever it is. And that's why the industry supports the school. These people who finish the school are then asked by the industry, of course, to work again in the same industry.
Okay.
So we start very early with this dual education system, not only one track, but it's two track. So it's a very good combination.